Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Hail Mary. I hope you all had a beautiful weekend. This was a great weekend for football. Well, if you look at that NFL slate, it could not compare to what we got from college football. If college football and the NFL were on the same day, the NFL's ratings would be just down into the gutter because what we got from college football this week was awesome. And that's where we're going to start and talk about today's segment. So today I want to talk about the college football slate, two teams in general that I want to talk about. We had a lot of good games. There were two games that really stood out to me, and it's more so about their coaches. And if you watch college football, you probably already know who I'm talking about. I want to talk a little bit about the Ryder Cup and why we were absolutely cheated out of the Ryder Cup and why Europeans should be ashamed of themselves. They think that we should be ashamed of ourselves for how we acted. No, you should be ashamed of yourself for the way that you won the Ryder Cup. We're going to talk about the ending of the MLB season and where we're at in this MLB playoff bracket, and I'm going to give you my prediction on who I think is going to win it all this year. A few other things. We got to get rid of turf in the NFL. We need to get rid of ties in the NFL, and then we're going to talk about some of the biggest games and some of the biggest moments from the NFL season. Before we get into those topics, I want to give a big shout out to Sleeper and Underdog. Sign up, use the code HMM. You are going to get yourself a deposit match. Plus, when you sign up for Underdog specifically, when you play $5, you will get $100 instantly. And on top of that, for both of these platforms, you use the code HMM when you sign up. You're going to get yourself a free 0.5 gimme pick, which is like tonight, it's going to be like Justin Fields needs to throw for 1 yard. Like, it's seriously that simple. They give you that pick for free when you sign up using the code HMM. Yeah, it's just free money in your pocket. So big shout out to Underdog. Big shout out to Sleeper. Make sure to use the code HMM when you sign up. Let's start talking about college football this week because I sat right here staring at this screen, staring at that screen, staring at this screen. Yeah, I got a lot of screens. And I just watch college football all week. So let's talk about two of the biggest games. We're not going to do a full breakdown of college football because I do a write-up about that. But we're going to talk about two coaches specifically that we need to stop putting in the upper echelon of coaches because they can't win shit. And first, we're going to start off with LSU and Ole Miss. Brian Kelly, this man has zero accountability for anything. This man could have the best week of practice, could get all of the best players, but then he'll run like punt return on every single play. And then whenever the press conference comes, because they obviously lose because they're playing punt return every play, he'll go, yeah, it wasn't me. My scheme worked. My system, I had a system in place and the boys just didn't execute. And that's just on them. I mean, you saw it a few years ago where he said to Laura Rutledge, I believe it was, he was like, yeah, I'm a big fan of execution, and I think our entire team should be executed. Like, I get that sometimes the players don't do their job, but that's when it comes on you as a coach to make sure that they're doing the right thing at the right time. And Brian Kelly knew for a fact that this year, LSU has a hard time running the ball. Why not try to put a system in place to, I don't know, make it so you can win another way? Like, I know that you're one-dimensional at that point, and then it's easy for Ole Miss, but guess what? That is your job as the head coach. These teams aren't going to say, hey, I know you're having a hard time running the ball this year. Well, we'll back off. We'll only put 3 guys in the box. We'll give you some running room, and we'll just have our safeties crash down. We're going to give you 5 yards a clip just to make it a little bit easy on you. No, why the fuck would they do that? They're not going to do that. It is your job as a head coach to put these kids in the right spot at the right time, give them the right scheme. But he doesn't do that. He puts them in the wrong spot at the wrong time and then bitches about them. And it's all their fault. It's never Brian Kelly's fault. He goes, oh, well, I took Notre Dame to a bunch of national championships. You didn't win shit. You didn't win anything. And guess what? Marcus Freeman just took Notre Dame to a national championship last year. So it's obviously not that hard, I guess. Well, Marcus Freeman's actually a good coach, though, so that's different. Marcus Freeman's a better coach than Brian Kelly right now. But Brian Kelly zero accountability. Zero, zilch, none. He's a fraud. And I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but we need to stop putting him in this upper echelon of, oh my God, if Brian Kelly got fired, every single team would fire their coach today. Ohio State wouldn't. Georgia wouldn't. I don't even think Ole Miss would right now. If Lane Kiffin and Brian Kelly were both on the market right now, I think Ole Miss is sticking with Lane Kiffin. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Like, I don't even see why recruits want to play for Brian Kelly. He will consistently berate you to the media because nothing's his fault. It's absurd. It's asinine. Listen, as bad as Clemson has been this year, and a lot of that, in my opinion, is falling on Dabo Swinney, I would much rather have Dabo than I would Brian Kelly. Because, yeah, Dabo's doing his whole rah-rah, like, oh, if you want to get rid of me, like, just let me on my way. I'll go coach somewhere else. Like, I get that Dabo is also a me guy, but he right now is not really projecting onto his players so much. He's doing the whole sarcastic bit where it's like, all right, get rid of me then, blah, you know. He's not saying like, guys, it's my players. My players just suck. I'm a great coach. Now he's saying that he's a great coach, while right now he's not a great coach, but he's not doing the whole, guys, I'm not coaching well right now because my players suck. That's what Brian Kelly does. So I would much rather play for Dabo than I would for Brian Kelly. 1,000%. Another coach right now that I'm sick and freaking tired. It's every single year. I made a video talking about Penn State football, and I said they are not going to win this whiteout game. Oregon is going to walk into Happy Valley, and they are going to beat down Penn State. They did exactly that. And I had so many ignorant and just closed-minded Penn State fans saying that I didn't know ball. I had no idea what I was talking about. Clearly, I did. They're like, you've never watched a whiteout game before. I'm an Ohio State fan. I keep up with every other team in the Big Ten like it's my job. Oh, wait, it is my job. I keep up with all of this. And I could have told you, even without looking at matchups on paper, without anything like that, I could have said, oh, Penn State, all I had to see was the number next to the name. Honestly, I could say, oh, Penn State's playing number 6, number 3 right now. Yeah, they're going to lose. Do you know why? Because James Franklin folds in these big games every single time. And I was told, well, it's the whiteout, bro. Bro, it's the whiteout. You don't get it. It's the whiteout. I don't care if it was the whiteout. The last 5 whiteouts that Penn State has played, sure, they have won, but they played like Auburn, SMU, Minnesota, Iowa, absolute nobody programs that you should be playing in a whiteout against. And this is not a knock on Penn State for who they played. It's a knock on Fox because Penn State should be playing Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan in whiteout games every single year. They should be. But because of this stupid big noon kickoff, it just doesn't happen. But Penn State fans were like, well, look at what we did the past 5 games in the whiteout. Didn't mean anything to me. Like, your biggest game was against SMU, and SMU had no shot against you. You could have played SMU. SMU could have had 15 players on the field, and you could have had 9, and you still would have beat SMU. No offense to SMU. You're just not at the same level as Penn State. I do not consider that a big game whatsoever. That is not a big game. Because, like, if people be like, James Franklin got a big win. He won a college football playoff game against SMU. That's not a big game. It's not. And then, sure, okay, I'll give him one big game. Because they did beat Boise. And Boise last year was all right. But it's still not, then they play a good team like Notre Dame. And then they lose. So that's just me. But, however, going a little bit off track. I could have told you straight up that Penn State was losing that whiteout game for the simple fact that Oregon was a good team. Anytime a good team walks into Happy Valley, Penn State folds. James Franklin folds. Also, I am done listening Every single year at the beginning of the year, I hear this is Penn State's year. Look at their roster. They're loaded up. They're bringing back so much talent. Look at the talent that they brought in the transfer portal. It never matters. Never matters whatsoever. I have to endure it every single year that I go, this is the year that Penn State's going to get through Ohio State. You just wait. This is the year Penn State's going to make a run to the national championship. Look, they stole Jim Knowles from Ohio State. Look, Drew Aller's coming back another year. Drew Aller isn't good. Drew Aller is built like Josh Allen, and he throws the ball like Anthony Richardson. He is not good right now. Am I saying that he's going to be a terrible NFL quarterback? No. But right now, if what I'm seeing on paper, because everybody's like he's a bona fide first-round pick, this guy should not be touched in the first round. He is a project quarterback. If a team is going to overdraft him like they did Anthony Richardson, the Colts saw Anthony Richardson and fell in love with the intangibles. That he's like 6'7", that he is built like a brick shit house, and that he can throw the ball a quarter mile. But other than that, he has zero accuracy, and he is a project quarterback. That right now is what Drew Aller is. Drew Aller should not be taken in the first half of the first round. If you want to take him pick, 25 to 32, or if you want to take him in the second round, I think you're going to get a steal if you are a good coach at developing quarterbacks. You send him to Andy Reid, he's going to be great. You send him to Los Angeles with Sean McVay, you send him to San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan, he'll progress to be a good quarterback. You put him in a good system, he'll definitely figure it out because he is mobile. He does have a decent arm at times. I mean, he had that beautiful throw to get Penn State back into the game against Oregon. But other than that, his accuracy is all over the map. And he's not even at the level right now where Josh Allen was his first year in the NFL. Because Josh Allen, his first year in the NFL, looked like a bust. He didn't look that good. His accuracy was terrible. But I would much rather have that version of Josh Allen right now than I would Drew Aller, because I just don't think that Drew Aller, unless you're looking at his intangibles, where how tall he is and, you know, he can run fast. Guess what? So could Anthony Richardson. And look what happened to Anthony Richardson. He lost his job to Daniel Jones. And listen, Daniel Jones is playing great right now, but you are wasting a pick, in my opinion, and it's going to be the Cleveland Browns who are going to waste this pick. If you were taking Drew Aller anywhere from pick number 1 to pick like number 24, I think you are wasting a pick. Unless every other quarterback is gone. Every other quarterback is gone in the first round, and Drew Aller's sitting there and you need a quarterback, fine, I get it. Like, if we get to a point next year where, you know, the Steelers are picking 28th and he's sitting there, it's like, all right, here's the quarterback, and then you just play Mason Rudolph. I won't like it as a Steeler fan because I don't want Drew Aller on my team. I don't think he's a good football player right now. But yeah, that's my Penn State rant right now. James Franklin, I'm sick of hearing that, oh, this is finally our year. We're finally going to figure it out. They get beat down by every good team they play. And if you're telling me right now that you think they're going to walk into Columbus and beat Ohio State, you are full of it. Because I heard from Penn State fans this week, oh, well, Ohio State struggled with Washington. What makes you say that? Ohio State, okay, I guess you have a little bit of an argument. Because you say, oh, Ohio State struggled with Washington. Ohio State was playing very, very conservative on offense, and it was actually making me mad. I was tweeting about it. But they opened it up in the second half. Jeremiah Smith got going. I was made to believe that Washington Stadium is a top 5 stadium in the country, that it gets so rocking and roaring loud that Ohio State wouldn't even be able to hear themselves think. That really didn't come on paper many, many times. And I was told that Washington has this prolific quarterback, an awesome running game. Sure, they do. Guess how many touchdowns it got them? 0. Ohio State held Washington to 0 touchdowns. Only field goals. So, if I'm made to believe that Washington has this amazing running game, an amazing quarterback, plus a top 5 stadium, and Ohio State only held them to field goals? Yeah, Ohio Sate didn't get beat down then. Ohio State didn't struggle then, right? I don't know. I don't know. Hey, Penn State fans, pick a side. Did Ohio State struggle? Or what? Or are you going to get beat down in Columbus this year? Because you absolutely are. You absolutely are getting beat down in Columbus this year. You will not be able to keep up. Listen, you saw what happened with Dante Moore and all those Oregon receivers. What do you think's going to happen when Julian Sayin is actually zipping the ball to Jeremiah Smith? You guys are in trouble. Because, 1, you're not as good as Ohio State. 2, you play in Columbus. And 3, guess what? James Franklin's your head coach. So good luck. All right, so I just yelled for 15 minutes about Penn State football. That's how infuriated I get when I have to talk to their fans. Let's talk about the Ryder Cup. I made a video. Listen, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I watched maybe, I don't know, an hour of the Ryder Cup. I didn't really watch much of it because guess what? There was football on. But I made a video because if you went on Twitter, the only thing I was seeing is how Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry, they had to get sheriffs involved, state troopers involved, because of how bad the heckling was for the Ryder Cup. And I made a video talking about how, listen, if you are going to play on American soil and you are going to have it Europe versus the United States, how do you expect us to act? Quite possibly, do you expect us to just sit on our hands and not do anything? What do you want from us? We are a very, very rowdy country. And I made a video talking about this, and I got fucking ratioed. I'm not even gonna lie. I got ratioed by a bunch of angry Brits. And just so funny. They are so mad at me because I made this video talking about how do you expect us to act? Seriously, what do you expect from us? You're in New York City. You expect us to sit on our hands and let you play your game? The only thing that I had a problem with from American fans is, listen, they were making fun of how fat Shane Lowry is. They were screaming during backswings. The only thing I had a problem with is when they started getting family involved. You don't do that. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. You don't do that. But anything else is completely fair game. It is. That's just how it is here. We are rowdy, and I heard it from all these Brits being so fucking offended. They were so mad. And guess what? First of all, undefeated in Super Bowls. Where's your Super Bowl? Hey, Britain, Europe, England, wherever the fuck you are. I don't know. I don't care about over there. How many Super Bowls do you have? And guess what? The Steelers and the Vikings just took over your country. One of your countries. They took over Ireland. Stole it. Everybody cared about the football game yesterday because I heard, all you guys have is egg ball. However you guys talk. You guys have egg ball. Yeah, our egg ball took over your country. Took over one of your countries. So, how about that? But the way that Europe had to win the Ryder Cup, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. You guys should be embarrassed. Oh, Victor Holland, my neck hurts. Oh, I can't play. Oh, I can't play. That's the only reason that you won, because you got a tie from that. If that didn't happen, if Victor Holland did, oh, my neck hurts. Oh, guess what? We're winning the Ryder Cup, and you know it. You absolutely know it, because I brought that up. I go, hey, what's up with this Victor Holland thing? Hey, if that doesn't happen, we win. They go, that's the rules, blood, or whatever the fuck they say. Hey, if that didn't happen, we win the Ryder Cup, and you guys should be ashamed of yourselves that is how you had to get a victory. You guys should be looking in the mirror right now, ashamed. You should be painting clown makeup on your face. You should be so ashamed of yourselves. That's how you win the Ryder Cup? You can't even win it fair and square? That's pathetic. You guys have 0 Super Bowls, and then you have to do that to win the Ryder Cup? I feel so bad for you guys. And then I have to hear about egg ball, and then you guys are talking about soccer. Who cares? Or like, oh, well, wait till the World Cup. Who the fuck cares about the World Cup? Who cares? Sound like Jerry Seinfeld right now. Who cares about the World Cup? Win a Super Bowl and then get back to me. There's a reason we threw all your tea in the harbor. There's a reason why we left you guys. Because you can't win Super Bowls. That's what matters. Everyone's like, who cares about the Super Bowl? Many of people, thousands of people, millions of people, tens of millions of people. Every person in the world cares about the Super Bowl. Everyone, every single person. You commented to me telling me you didn't care about the Super Bowl. You care about the Super Bowl because you know what it's called. And you think you're going to offend me calling it egg ball. Win a Super Bowl. If the London Black Knights were in the Super Bowl, you guys would lose your fucking minds. But guess what? You can't afford an NFL team, apparently. And we just took over one of your countries. We took over Ireland. We owned it. It was all Steelers. It was all Vikings. We took it over. So obviously you guys care about egg ball. Let's talk about the MLB now. Let's talk about what should I even say? Not egg ball. Let's talk about grapefruit ball. I don't fucking know. All right, let's talk about the MLB playoffs because the bracket is set. We finally have baseball. Yeah. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I had a hard time keeping up with baseball this year because listen, it's one of those things that when like your team sucks, I kind of don't care as much and I'm a Pirate fan, so I haven't cared for the past 28 years. But let's talk about this bracket. So at first we have the Tigers and Guardians, which that series is going to feed families. We have the Tigers and Guardians, we have the Red Sox and the Yankees, which that's insane as well. We have the Reds and the Dodgers, and we have the Padres and the Cubs. So I'm not going to go too much into a breakdown of each series, but I'm just going to give my prediction for who I think is winning the World Series this year. So coming out of the National League, first we have the Reds and the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are winning that series. Then we have the Padres and the Cubs. I have the Cubs winning that series. So then we move on and we have the Phillies and the Dodgers. I'm going to go... Man, this is tough. I think I'm going to go... I hate to say this because, well, no, not really. I don't hate to say this because I hate Philadelphia. I'm going to go with the Dodgers to win that series. And then we have the Cubs and the Brewers. I'm going to go with the Brewers to win that series. And then I have the Dodgers beating the Brewers to go to the World Series. Listen, the Dodgers are the Dodgers, and they're going to figure it out this year. Again, listen, they're the 3 seed. They're going to win. I think they're going to win. Yeah, it's the Dodgers. Really not much else to say. And then these 2 series over here in the AL are crazy. We have the Tigers and the Guardians. I am going to go with the Guardians. They are playing much better baseball, obviously, as of late. I'm going to go with the Guardians to beat the Tigers, and then I am going to go with the Yankees to beat the Red Sox. I'm going to take the next series. I am going to take the Mariners to beat the Guardians, and I am going to take the Blue Jays to beat the Yankees, and then we have the Mariners and the Blue Jays. We have the 1 and 2 seed. I am going to go with this is tough. Give me the Seattle Mariners to beat the Blue Jays. And then we have a World Series. We have the Dodgers versus the Mariners. Give me the Dodgers to win the World Series yet again. I'm going to say it's going to be in 5 games as well. I mean, the Dodgers are just an absolute shit-pumping wagon. Give me the Dodgers to win the World Series. Shohei Ohtani is going to be MVP of the World Series. Because why wouldn't the golden boy of the MLB be the MVP? So those are my predictions for the MLB. All right, 2 little mini rants I want to go on. First of all, let's get rid of turf in the NFL. I'm so sick. It's not even turf, a lot of it is just turf in general, but MetLife Stadium, something needs to be done. We just saw Malik Neighbors yesterday potentially tear his ACL, and he's going to be out for the year. MetLife Stadium has claimed way too many lower body injuries. It's absurd. How can the NFL, how can the Jets and Giants as organizations look at this and be okay with what is there? Are they just not taking accountability? Are they saying that this is just freak things that are happening? Because it's 1,000% about the turf. Turf is 1,000,000% what is happening with all these lower body injuries. Yes, it can just happen out of nowhere if you're playing on grass, but turf is a big reason why a lot of these guys are popping their Achilles tendons or popping their ACLs. The NFL needs to step in and put grass in every single field. It shouldn't even be something that's up for debate. They shouldn't even have to go to the league owners for this. This should 1000% be something that they just mandate and say, you need to put grass in your stadium. Get rid of the turf. You guys are billionaires. Who cares if it's hard to maintain? Like, figure it out. You guys obviously do not care about the health and safety of your players if you fight tooth and nail to have artificial turf. It shouldn't even be up for debate. It is crazy how many injuries we've seen at MetLife Stadium, at just anywhere that has turf. And again, I get that people get hurt all the time on grass as well, but not as much as they do on this artificial turf. These guys are billionaires. They should be able to figure it out. Like, all you have to do is rip up the turf and put down grass. And, you have to hire a few grounds crew guys to make sure it's maintained. But artificial turf looks nicer than grass, and we can't put pretty patterns on it. And when people run on our logo, it's going to get destroyed. Who the fuck cares? You are a billionaire. Do you know what else? You know what's worse than whenever the logo gets run over and you have to repaint it? Having your star wide receiver pop his ACL in a game that you won against one of the better teams in the NFL. That we get rid of artificial turf. It has claimed way too many lower body injuries in the NFL, and I cannot believe that we are still playing on it right now. There's a reason why these top names in all of soccer want to play on grass, because it's better for you. And NFL owners I guess they just don't care. It's crazy to me. You have to pay an extra $100,000 for a grounds crew to make sure that it looks nice. You don't even have to make sure it looks nice. Just get one of those fucking push things to make sure it's getting fertilized. That's literally it. Do you see what the Steelers play on? I miss Heinz Field. Acrisure Stadium, the grass sucks. They have Pitt play on it a day before, and then the Steelers play on it. It sucks. It looks like a cow pasture. And guess what? It gets the job done. That's football. That's all you got to do. And these teams that play in dome stadiums, you'll be able to keep your grass looking pretty fine. I promise you. Get rid of artificial turf. It's not needed anymore. It's not. You are just causing injuries to these big name star players, and just not even star players, any player in general. Do you not care about the health and safety of your players? And then you want to fight that you don't want to give them a guaranteed contract. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. Another thing is the NFL, we need to get rid of ties. Why did I stay up all night last night watching the Packers and the Cowboys game go out and have possibly the game of the year? That game possibly could have one-upped the ending or the week 1 game of the Ravens and the Bills, because right now that is my game of the year, because we had a definitive winner. But I had to stay up all night, watch 80 points get scored for a team to not win the football game? Like, stick with the system that you have now, I guess, where it's the 10 minutes. After that, just go to a 2-point shootout or something like they do in college. Why can't we have a definitive winner in this game? Get rid of ties in the NFL. I stayed up all night. I was hyped. I was like, holy shit, this is going to be game of the year. If the Cowboys end up getting revenge on Micah Parsons beating the Packers, Micah Parsons is going to get a huge win versus the Cowboys. This is insane. I can't believe I'm staying up to watch this game. No, it ends in a tie. Like, get rid of them. Nobody wants a tie. A tie is like kissing your sister. It's stupid. Get rid of ties in the NFL. I hate them. They're stupid. I stayed up all night just to watch a tie. That's crazy. That's crazy. The NFL owes me 8 hours of sleep because I went to bed angry. I was pissed. Not really, because I already lost my bets. I had the under in that game. 80 points were scored, so I definitely lost. But you know what I'm saying? I can't believe that. Get rid of ties in the NFL. I don't know what makes me more mad. I know what makes me more mad. Turf fields make me more mad than ties. If we could keep ties, you could never have an overtime game again. It could just end in the fourth quarter, and if both teams are tied, it's over. I would accept that if you got rid of turf fields. That's just me. And then let's talk about some of the biggest games of the week. First of all, the Ireland game. It looked like it was going to be an absolute shit pumping by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then my butt was puckered because I was very scared that we were going to end up losing that game to the Vikings. I was very, very scared. If we would have lost that game, I would have flew over to Ireland and screamed and made sure that Mike Tomlin stayed there for the rest of his life, because that was very scary. Other huge games of the week as well. The Eagles and the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield almost dropped his nuts again on a game-winning drive. Baker's just crazy. And then the Ravens and the Chiefs. Are the Ravens fraudulent? Are the Ravens not very good? I thought that they had possibly the best roster on paper, and we saw Lamar Jackson get benched yesterday. They got booty dick down 37-20 versus the Kansas City Chiefs. What is going on with the Baltimore Ravens? They are not very good. Straight up. A lot of people are calling for John Harbaugh to lose his job. The Ravens, low-key, high-key, kind of suck. They aren't very good. And listen, they played some fucking wagons of teams. They lost to the Bills. They booty dick down the Browns, which anybody should. They lost to the Lions, and they lost to the Chiefs. That's a tough schedule. I will give them that. But they blew the game versus the Bills. They got destroyed by the Lions, and they got destroyed by the Chiefs. They play the Texans next week, which the Texans are bad. The Texans are very bad. The Texans got a big win. Big win versus the Titans. But then they got to play the Rams. Tough game. Vikings. Tough game. Packers. Not really that tough of a game. The Ravens, I think, will figure it out. But right now, not a good team. Not a good team right now. If anything, they're mid. They are a very mid team. And you will see that when I make my rankings video on Wednesday. So, hey, guys, thank you so much for listening to this edition of the Hail Mary. Make sure, if you're watching this on YouTube, I have been posting YouTube shorts, so if you want to check those out. And usually it's on Wednesdays, but this week it was on Thursday because I forgot to do that because I was upstairs painting. But usually on Wednesdays, I do my power rankings for the NFL, so be sure to subscribe so you can check that out on Wednesday. If you're listening to this over on Spotify, make sure to follow us and give it 5 stars. That would be freaking awesome. And follow us everywhere. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, Snapchat. You know, we're everywhere, guys. You've heard it all before if you listen to this. So, hey, have a beautiful week, everybody. Thank you guys for listening to this latest edition of the Hail Mary. Get rid of turf fields. Europeans should be ashamed of themselves. And Brian Kelly, you are a fraud. And so are you, James Franklin. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Peace.